What's going on, guys? My name is Ted, and I'm bringing you guys a little something different today. I want to talk about cell phones, and this is actually going to be on my new channel, so if you've come over, thank you. It's awesome, and I'm glad you're over here. And two cell phones in particular today. I'm actually reading a lot of the news. My major is computer science. I'm really into cell phone technology, and Call of Duty is still awesome, but I'm in college. I don't have my Xbox, so we're going to focus on cell phones over on this channel and keep an Xbox to the other channel. So there's a lot of cool cell phones on the market, and the thing I like about cell phone technology and why I'm so passionate about it is because there's always something new happening with cell phones. There's so many different carriers. It's such awesome technology. And unlike computers, which I will talk about as well on this channel, and tablets, cell phones are just so small, and it's so cool to see how much shit you can pile into one cell phone. So I'm going to go over a couple of these phones that are upcoming. And these two phones in particular are phablet phones, which means they're a phone tablet. Basically, they're just really big screens. And I love really big screen phones. And these two in particular had a lot of announcements about them today that I'm really excited about. And these phones haven't officially been released yet. The release dates are not really known yet. They're going to be announced to the International Franchise Association, which is the IFA. It's going to be in Berlin this year, and that's starting on Friday. So we're going to see so much cool stuff on Friday. I really can't wait. But let's get into the phones. First one I want to talk about is the LG Intuition, and I'm actually reading some of this stuff from my Word document. I compiled a lot of information, so if you see me turn my eyes in different directions, that's why. The LG Intuition, it's going to be released on a variety of carriers, especially Verizon is going to be the main one because I was in the photo that I saw of it. So it's not really, all these phones are released on different carriers, and it's not really sure which ones. They have to sign a pact with each carrier, so you really don't know until the phone gets released what network it's going to be on, except for if you see some leaked photos, which is what I've seen. The LG Intuition is going to come with a 5-inch LCD screen. LCD screens are not the best. They used to be. Now it's Super AME LED, which are the best screens now. That's what like the Samsung Galaxy S3 phones like that, just really high-resolution screens. This phone does not have it, and this is going to be a very mid-range phone, I think. The screen resolution is going to be 768 by 1024 pixels. This comes out to 256 pixels per inch, which is not very good. I like to put things in comparison to the current benchmark phone, which is the Samsung Galaxy S3. That's like the flagship device right now, and that's got a 306 pixel per inch ratio. So this is about 5/6 of that. Also, a really weird thing about this phone is it has a 4:3 aspect ratio, which basically makes the phone almost like a square. It's very close to a square, whereas phones these days are very rectangular. It's about that would be the ratio. This one's going to be like that by that, like it's almost a square, and it doesn't look very good. I'll put a photo so you can see it. The specs on this have not been released yet, but this is going to be very similar to a Korean phone called the Optimus VU, or the Optimus View, and that phone's already been released. This is just going to be the American version of it, and that phone had a dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon Scorpion 1.5 gigahertz processor, which is a good processor, but it's nowhere near the Qualcomm S4s, which is what any flagship phone today would have. The Scorpion's a couple generations ago, and it's kind of funny to see a new phone be released with old software. Old hardware. I don't understand why they would do that. As for what you're going to get inside this bad boy, you do get 32 gigs of memory, which is pretty good for storage, and you get 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is pretty much a staple for most phones. The American versions of the Galaxy S3 have 2 gigs of RAM, which is why I just love this phone so much. But 1 gig of RAM is just fine. For most things, most tasking, you're just going to need 1 gig of RAM, so you're not going to need much more than that. Rear-facing camera, very standard, once again, 8-megapixel camera at 1080p recording for video and stuff like that. Really cool, 30 frames a second, that's all you really need. Some phones go up to like 60 frames a second, which is just more than you really need, and it's hard to read and write to memory disks that fast, so I'm surprised they have that in phones. But this is very standard. As for your front-facing camera, you get a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, which also records in HD, so when you're doing like conference calls, Skype, you're perfectly covered. As for what version of Android it's going to be running, stock it's going to come with Android 4.0.3, which is Ice Cream Sandwich. Hopefully upgradable to Jelly Bean soon, because Jelly Bean's been out for several months now. I don't know why every phone that comes out doesn't have Jelly Bean on it. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they wouldn't just go ahead and code it and release it inside these phones. But if you want to, you can go ahead and root your LG Intuition, and you can install the Jelly Bean Cyanogen Mod 10, so that wouldn't be too hard. Now, on to the best phone, the one that I'm stoked for, the one that I wish I had waited for, the Galaxy Note 2. I'm so excited for this phone. This is going to be released at IFA 2012 in Berlin as well, which is coming up just this weekend, which I'm so excited for. The Galaxy Note 10 2, there's not much information that's been released on it, but the information that has been released and confirmed is just getting way too excited. It comes with a 5.5-inch display, which is huge. It's awesome. I love big display phones. They just feel great in my hand because I got a big hand because I'm a big guy, and big phones are awesome. It's also a lot easier to type on them. And this one, they didn't cut it cheap. They had a 1280 by 720 screen. This is full HD, super AME LED screens, which is just what you want. It's got the brightest resolution. It doesn't have the best pixel ratio, but because it's such a big phone, to keep the price down into a reasonable price margin, they can't put in a massive pixel ratio into these larger phones, and that makes sense to me because the price would be just ridiculously high. The screen's still going to look really good. It's going to look like true HD. It won't look as dense or as perfect as the Samsung Galaxy S3 will, but it's still going to be a great device for that big of a screen. Also, this is coming stock with Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean, which I'm so excited for. I can't wait. My phone's getting the update to Jelly Bean here on the 29th, which is the day that IFA begins in Berlin. So I'm really excited for that. And this phone also comes stock with a 1.4 gigahertz quad-core Exynos 4412 processor. I don't know how to pronounce that word, EXYNOS. If someone can let me know down below how you pronounce that word, because I've always wondered. I don't know how to pronounce that processor. But I do know it's a very good processor. It holds up to the Qualcomm S4s, which those are my personal favorite because I just like Snapdragon a lot. But I've heard these are very good processors as well, and quad core is awesome. You can do so much tasking with 4 freaking cores. That's really cool. As for your internal storage, it's going to come with an option of 16 or 32 gigabyte of internal storage, which is more than you're going to need. And it also has an SD card slot, so if you want to add in an extra 64 gigabytes, like a Class 10 card or whatever to read and write just as fast, you're perfectly able to. And it's going to cost you extra like $100 for 64 gig micro SD card if you get a Class 10 one. But I think it's totally worth it if you put a lot of music and a lot of like files and you record a lot on your phone. And it's going to be the release date's going to be announced at the IFA, the International Franchise Association. There's going to be a lot of great phones released, and during that week I'm going to come up with a ton of information. And I almost forgot to mention the LG Intuition, the first phone I talked about. That's going to be released on September 15th. That's kind of the date that's been supposed because the screenshot had that date on the phone. We don't know whether that's leaked or whether that's actual true information, but hopefully it's true because that's not too far off in the future. As for the Galaxy Note 2, the date release is to be announced, but it should be in the near future, hopefully within the next month. And I'm just so excited. A bunch of new phones are coming out. If you like this channel, be sure to let me know what phones you want me to review down below. I always read information about all kinds of different phones. I'm going to do tutorials, reviews, guides, all kinds of stuff. I love cell phones. I love cell phone technology. I'm also going to do tablets and computers as well because I think those things are awesome. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you want me to cover and review. And if you have any information, make sure to message me in the inbox, and I'll go take a look at it, and I'll hopefully do a review on some of those things as well. Two great phones. Obviously, I suggest the Galaxy Note 2 because I think it's awesome. But your LG Intuition is a very mid-range phone. I think it's $200 with a 2-year contract, but I think most people are going to go for the Galaxy Note 2 because of that, the processor speed, Jelly Bean being stock default operating system, and the bezel resolution, the bigger screen. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you think down below. Which one would you rather have for the price? And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.